So a lot of times, especially when you're young, you're gonna wonder, am I doing the right thing? So you're pushed to go to college, you're pushed to get a job, you're pushed to do whatever. Should I work out? Should I be hanging out with friends? What's my purpose? What's my passion? What am I supposed to do? All of that is very complex. But a lot of times we get stressed about life, and stress is essentially when you want to be two different places at once. So let's say you want to stay at home and watch Netflix, but you have to go to work or you have to go to class. You're stressed. You're stressed because you want something that you inevitably can't have. And you have to be the reality is you want two different things. So the way you should guide your decisions and long-term understand what you should be doing is really, really simple. And I got this from Naval. And essentially, it's gonna be on the screen. It's the whole idea of this video, but it says easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. So ultimately, a lot of people try to spend their early 20s and they say, oh, this is your time to have fun. You gotta just enjoy it. Go to college, go to the parties, do what you wanna do. Because you can work the whole rest of your life. Yeah, that's true. You do have the rest of your life to work. But in that same ideology, the rest of your life to work and then retire. So you have the beginning and then the end is for fun, allegedly. Yeah, you can have fun when you're a kid. Yeah, then you can retire when you're 65. You have to ask yourself, is that really what you want to do? The other way you can do it is you can stack up, because you're going to go through shit regardless. You can stack the shit at the beginning of your life instead. That's actually the easier way. The hard way is the shortcut. There is no shortcut except for the hard way, because the shortcut doesn't get you there. So if you have any calling to be anything more than mediocre, and not to use that as a cliche, but mediocre meaning most people. Most people live very average, and a lot of people don't actually do something they really want to do. They do something that just works. They go to and get a job that works for them, and pretty much the only thing they live for is the weekend. That's not everybody, but that's most people who are in the middle class, because that's mediocre. That's the definition of mediocre, is the average person. So if you have a calling to be more than that, your life's going to look a little bit different. And the first thing is you got to make hard choices. In other words, you got to do hard stuff. But the thing is, people don't realize that hard stuff is not actually hard. If everything had to be suffered through, nobody would do it. Why do you think people who work out consistently? It's literally because they like it. There's no way around it. You're not gonna do shit that you're reluctant to do. If you hate working out, you're not gonna do it the same way that you would do it if you loved it. You've heard the saying, the person who loves the journey is gonna walk the furthest. It's the same thing. So it's all about, how do I get myself to like the right things? The biggest thing that will change your life is fitness. If you can find a way to make yourself enjoy exercising, the rest of your life will become easy, because the same principles apply to every aspect and facet of your life. So the question is, how do I get myself to like working out? Well, firstly, you do it in such a way that isn't completely miserable at first. And you do not need to go to the gym for 3 hours to get a good workout. You really only need to go for 20 minutes, especially when you begin. If the entire continent of North America walked for 10 minutes a day, it would solve all of these obesity issues. We wouldn't have obesity anymore if everyone just did something small over a long period of time. That's what you need to find. And in the quantity, as in the volume, which happens over a long period of time, that's where you find the passion. It's not something you have or you don't have. And again, what we're trying to do is make the hard choices and front load those and then have an easy life. Because overall, if you make the easy choices now and you go out and drink and you go out and party and you do the stuff that is immediately pleasurable, the rest of your life is overall going to be hard. So if you're thinking proactively, consciously, and using awareness, you're going to want to do it and get the shit out of the way. So when you're faced with two options, always choose the option that's harder now. Your brain is hardwired to avoid pain. So it's always going to want to do the one that's immediately pleasurable and say, nah, I'll wait till later to do that. If you've got to do your homework, but you want to relax, your brain is automatically going to default to tell you, no, let's move that to later. It'll be fine. Let's relax now. But what happens when you wait? Every single moment, there's this illuminating idea in the back of your head that you need to do something, and there's an anxiety. So that stress is there because you want to be in two different places. You've got something in the back of your mind that you know you must do, but you're choosing to not do it. And so sometimes you can either accept something or you can change it. But a lot of times you need to, in other words, beat the game to free yourself from it. So if you have something in the back of your mind, just fucking do it so you can get on with your life. Because a lot of times we exacerbate things to death. So we think this homework assignment, for instance, is going to take us hours, when in reality, a lot of times it's way quicker than what we think. And so we put it in this vague, abstract part in the back of our head, and it turns into this massive dragon we need to slay, when in reality, it's 10 to 15 minutes of your life in which after you finish it, you're greatly rewarded. So the same theme applies. You've got to do the hard thing now, and it's way easier later. So you either have the beginning of your life, which is easy, the rest is hard, or the beginning of your life is hard, the rest is easy. And so in the second option, you get more easy. So honestly, if you're lazy, you should probably do the hard stuff now. Doing that gives you less suffering overall. And so it's not about avoiding suffering. That's not what this is about. But it's essentially for young people who might not know what they're doing. And a lot of times we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. But you've got to do the things, one, that you really want to do, and two, things that probably, paradoxically, you do not want to do because they're hard. Everything that's hard is going to require you to grow. And the growth is going to have growing pains along with it. But you've got to be so careful of those things that are immediately pleasurable, like drinking, drugs, sex. Any of that stuff is going to provide immediate pleasure. And so it's easy to jump on those things and just crave those all the time. You can literally develop an addiction to cravings, whereas you want to have one big desire in life. Anything else you need to put aside, but you need to have one big desire, because we're not going to go onto a mountain and meditate all day. You need to have a big desire and a big goal that you're chasing. But if you have any more than that, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So have one big desire and want it really bad. Let that consume your life. Let the rest sit. Accept the rest. You need to have one big desire in your life that if you achieved it, you believe everything would be okay. And that's a delusion. It's a delusion to believe that, yeah, if I achieve X, then I'll be free. No. But you beat the game to free yourself from it. A lot of times, you can accept and surrender to whatever situation you have, and that will provide you happiness. But sometimes, it's best to pursue a desire, obsess over one thing, because we're humans and we are driven to achieve. But you can only drive yourself towards one big desire. Otherwise, you're never going to get it. You need to focus on one thing, want it really bad, and go after it. And what you'll find is that if you are pursuing one thing with all of your human ability, you will be happy. Every millionaire who gets the money says that, oh, I would give everything to go back to the beginning. In the beginning, they'd give everything to go to the end. It's literally all about right now. It's all about where you are right now. Your past self wants where you are right now. Where you are right now wants your past self. How retarded is that? You've got to realize that right now is where you want to be. So accept it, move towards one big desire, and do some hard stuff. Side note, I've got a 7-day premium coaching trial, and you can try it out. It's literally, we'll hop on a call, I'll tell you all about it. If it sounds cool, do it. If not, no worries. Had to plug. Either way, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching the video. Peace.